Hi guys, it's Silverhead again with another episode of the tutorial series, and today I'm gonna have to do something which I am not too good at, and yes, I must be honest, I always procrastinate this, and it's the Queueline. But for this coaster, I guess it's my lucky day because I'm just going to do a very simple Queueline, because this is a simple coaster, but I'll explain more about that later on when I have some time on my hands. First of all, I always want to start out with a small square. At least in this case it's a square, but basically I'm gonna do a zigzaggy kind of Queueline. So right now this may not look like anything, but I'm just gonna place these round things on the side, and then you'll probably see what kind of shape this Queueline is going to take. It's going to be that one. Very simple but effective and space-saving Queueline, because you know, in many cases a Queueline is actually part of the ride itself. You know, you're gonna have to spend a lot of time in the Queueline, and you're gonna want the guests to be entertained in the Queueline, and you can use the Queueline to, you know, set the mood and ambience for the roller coaster. But since this is just a simple generic roller coaster, I don't really need to do any of those things, and I can't because I don't have the available space for buildings and scenery and stuff like that. So I'm just going to do a very simple but somewhat effective Queueline. Also, I'm going to leave out the fast pass part of the Queueline, but you can also add a fast pass. And if you don't know what a fast pass lane is, it's like you can buy a ticket to skip all of the lines of the rides, and that means that you do need to make one extra Queueline, which is a shorter Queueline and a more simple Queueline. But this is for all the people who like spend extra money to be able to skip the lines, which some people don't like that, but it's a thing that happens, especially I think in Six Flags parks and parks like that, basically, where you've got really big rides or very popular attractions that many people want to go in. You can pay extra money to skip the queue. It's when you think about it, it's a really weird strategy, but of course it does give the owners of the park a lot more money. Now, I want to add some borders on the sides of these paths, simply because yeah, it just looks a lot better now. I think these borders aren't quite doing it, but yeah, okay, it's not too bad. But yeah, you can basically use any wall set for this, like Shyguy Splinters or Shyguy Splinters 2 will work fine as well. StationJim's fencing is a great set for stuff like this. I'm just using this set because I just like this texture right now. But really, you can use any set for this as long as it's a low, small wall that can serve as a border for the path covers, because normally in real life you'd either have fences with borders like these, or you'd have sand or something, or like a gravel path which does not really have a border at all. But you don't have textures like that in this game. You can't have a texture that slowly fades out into the grass, but so we need to add borders. So I want to add borders in here as well, and now you can really see the shape of the Queueline, where you have that signature zigzag thing just to save space. Now what you can also do, what I might probably also do, is add some small rope fences over here, so that if it's really quiet and there's barely anyone in the park, you can open up these ropes so people don't have to walk through this entire fence. Wait, that's actually a good idea. I'm actually going to do that. Going to remove all this. Sorry for that then, but that's just a general good idea to do. So just gonna do this and get the half wall. Okay, that's all good. And then Sun leg spike. Alright. No, this all looks good and fine, but let's see. Okay, the leg is real though. Let's check it out. Let's spin around. Oh, that doesn't help much. In general, if you have lag, which I am way too used to at this point, you can like point the camera towards the part of the park when there's no scenery, and you generally have less lag. But I see that the lag is currently generated by fraps, so that doesn't help too much. In any case, I need to place some more path covers in here. Right, 1, 2, and 3, and 4. And now I don't exactly know if I still have these rope fences, which I probably don't even have anymore. That would be a shame. But in any case, I need to check which kind of fences I want to use. I think I'm gonna use StationJim's fencing, because that set just has very detailed fences, and I really like the look of it. Plus, you can choose 3 colors, so it's a pretty flexible set. And what I sometimes like to do is just hint at the colors of the roller coaster in the fence of the Queueline. So for example, the roller coaster is that turquoise color, then I'm gonna hint at that in the fence. You don't necessarily have to do that, and many parks don't do it. Most of the time the fences of the Queueline do match the theme though. But in this case, since this is a generic coaster, I just like doing it because I just think it looks pretty cool. And for these small curves, I think there's yeah, that is a problem. There's no half curve in this part of the set, I think. Only this one has a half curve. Oh, well, that's stupid. Well then, we're gonna have to work around that later on. That's one disadvantage of this set. I don't know if he forgot about those pieces or not, but it's just a bit annoying. Right, now for this small gap over here, I'm gonna need to use a different set, simply because there's no small curved fence in that set. So I feel like Shyguy's planters is probably the best way to go in this case. You can also just use Shyguy's planters for the entire queue, but I just don't like the set enough for that. It's a little bit less detailed than StationJim set. Holy shit, that lag though. Still that lag is going on, even though I've got enough hard drive space left and I'm not running anything in the background, which is very annoying, and I've tried multiple times on multiple days, but it just keeps lagging. Right, now for the fences that can open and close, I think I'm going to use some cloth fences. So T4L set has stuff like that in it. This one, you can take the cloth 1H, well, not the conform one probably. Well, that might actually work though, but I think I'm gonna use the regular one. No, yeah, I'm gonna use the regular one because I want to build it myself. Okay, come on, mate. Now I'm gonna use this. It might be a weird idea to use this everywhere. Yeah, I'm probably gonna use it in every one of these things. Let's see. I don't exactly know what the best idea is for this. Well, and then I'm gonna use these posts that you can use to like either get the cloth out there or not if there's nobody in the park and you want guests to go to the station really quick. And then for the rest of that thing, I'm just gonna place these everywhere and probably remove those fences in the middle because the space in there is a bit tight. Well, let's see then. Place this. That should be about it. And remove that one. Let's see, I think that's good enough. Kind of. Wait, no, that is really cramped though, so I'm probably gonna want to remove all these things and actually make it as wide as the other fence queues. So more like this then. Yeah, that should actually be a bit better. Also, I'm gonna recolor these things because there's too much blue going on. At some point it's just not good anymore, I guess. Let's see. And open that set again. Then all I have to do in the end is just place some more borders over here, and then I think I'm pretty much done when it comes to fencing. And I'm using cloth right now, but you can use any fence type that you can remove. For example, like fences that can open, like a gate or something. Not a big gate like this, but yeah, whatever basically. Now let's see, take the posts again. I think I'm gonna color the posts blue though, because they interact with the fences. Right, now that seems pretty decent to me. Now I just... in the end you might also add some more Queueline fences, but I'll talk about that in a minute. First I need to finish these borders. Let's see. I always just use the full borders, but you can also use the conform borders. The only problem with conforming pieces is that they don't go on the half or quarter tiles, and full pieces actually do, so in some cases this might be handier. Now for the Queueline fences, I always open up CoasterJoe's pathway extend no what? No, CoasterJoe's Queueline fences, holy shit. And just because, you know, it looks pretty cool, and it just prevents the Queueline from turning into a chaos. Going to make them grey though, because otherwise there's so much blue going on. Like, a bit of hinting at the colors of the coaster is cool, but too much, and it just starts to get too much, basically. And I think I'm just gonna, yeah, I'll take these straight ones. Oh, and don't worry about these sharp things sticking out. You can always add some more poles. But I always do the poles in the end, just to save time. Right. And then this also makes a good fence for the, whatever you call them again. I just forgot. Okay, just gonna add these in the middle everywhere except for the beginning and the end of this little shortcut. And use quarter pieces for the curves. Okay, that looks good. Though I think I used I used the wrong piece for this, kind of. And now I'm going to have to place the poles in, is this a good placing? No, it isn't. Damn. What was the good placement again? Oh yeah, the normal pole. Right, and I'm just gonna build these in the end, because you don't really need them in other places. This thing supports itself pretty much well enough. And then there's only one thing left to do, I think.